Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 1987 Supermod. I am your host, as always, Brad Drake, and this is my AWA save. Okay, we are here for the big live event tour number 100, and we are traveling to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Let's go ahead and set our venue. There is the Winnipeg Convention Center, also known in this game as the Winnipeg Convention Center. So we're going to go ahead and select that one for our venue for this evening. Don't worry, folks, as you should know by now, it's been fixed in version 7.0. Let's check our backstage incidents. Oh, Rod Trongard, what's going on here? Rod's doing cartoons again. That crazy guy. Uh-oh, Hennig and Bockwinkel. Oh, boy. Well, Hennig's got to buy drinks, but now he's happy, so everything's good. Then we got some protege work here as usual. All right, let's check who is absent and see if anything's going to affect our card for tonight. I think we're okay. I'm not certain if Mr. Saito is on this card. And of course, Mr. Saito was supposed to be on this card, but instead he's working for New Japan. So we'll make a change to that. And let's give our card a rundown before we get booking. Vivian St. John is going to face Reggie Bennett. The Top Guns are going to tangle with a tag team to be determined. Ali Khan is going to face DJ Peterson. Colonel DeBeers versus Jerry Blackwell. Sheik Adnan al-Kaissey is stepping in the squared circle against the legend Ray Stevens. Rip Oliver is mixing it up with Jerry Lawler. And to be determined is going to face Bob Backlund. Lastly, in our big main event, the Midnight Rockers are going to face the Midnight Express for the World Tag Team title. Let's get to booking. All right, I think our first one is Vivian St. John versus Reggie Bennett. Both these ladies have been gaining some popularity in Canada, so we'll see how they do. There's Vivian St. John. There is Reggie Bennett. And let's take a look and see how this one's been going to make sure we keep it even. Okay, Vivian St. John won the last time, so Reggie Bennett is going to get the win this time. And that one's booked up. Next, we have the problem with the Top Guns without an opponent. It's going to be a 12-minute bout. It's going to be a tag match. So, let's take a look at our teams here. There's the Top Guns. Let's have them get in there against... Do we run around the Nasty Boys again? These two faced each other a million times. We need a heel team. We could put the Russians in there. We will put the Russians in there. Why not? I know I could have done auto name. I probably should have. We'll leave that one open-ended. We'll let the computer decide who wins. My bet is that the Russians are going to get the win. So, Sheik Adnan al-Kaissey is going to be a busy man here. He's got the second match, tag match. He's got the third match, and then he's wrestling himself in the fifth match. So it's pretty serious business for the Sheik. Got Khan versus Peterson here. This one's also a 12-minute match. I don't believe we bounce up to 14 to the fourth match, and I am correct. So let's go ahead and get these two combatants into the ring here. Now, this is pretty funny. Ali Khan has lost a lot, but he's got neutral momentum. It's pretty interesting. Whereas we have the two lady wrestlers, Fashan and Michelli, exchanging wins, and both of them have cold momentum. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And let's take a look here and we'll see. Yeah, he's got 15 wins, 21 losses. So it just shows. He's getting a lot of TV time. That's helping out. That, you know what? That's probably the problem with Vivian Vachon and Medusa Michelli is the fact that they're not on TV every week because we have that rotation system. So that's probably what is hurting them. So we'll go ahead and leave that one open-ended too. Doesn't really matter to us who wins. DeBeers versus Blackwell here. This has proven to be a pretty decent little feud here. And this one goes 14 now. There's Colonel DeBeers. And there is Big Jerry Blackwell, who, you know, I've watched some videos of him earlier in his career, back when he used to actually wear a singlet with a proper wrestling attire underneath it. He wore a singlet over like a half body suit, and he actually looked like a pro. And even though I think Jerry Blackwell's skills are still good at this point, he kind of looked like a slob and just didn't have a good look. But I caught some video of him when he was younger, and he did have a good look. He had a neat, clean look for a huge guy with the way he wore his gear. At this point, he's doing the tank top T-shirt thing, and I just don't like it. But we'll let the computer decide this one. Also, it's probably going to go in Blackwell's favor since he was a fan favorite in Winnipeg. And here's the big one: Adnan al-Kaissey versus Ray Stevens. It's another 14-minute match. And I think we're going to have al-Kaissey get a win here by cheating. We'll see if Stevens allows it. But we're going to go with a tainted win. Nope, we're going to go with outside interference. We're going to have Boris Zhukov. Now, we'll have Ali Khan interfere on behalf of the Sheik. And Stevens was cool with it. So that mixes things up and changes things up a little bit. We're going to have Rip Oliver, who is the reigning Pacific Northwest heavyweight champion, is going to face Jerry Lawler. And I don't know if Jerry Lawler is holding a title right now in Memphis, but he probably is. Let's take a look here. No, he's not currently holding a title that I can see. He lost the AWA Southern Heavyweight title again in January of '87. But no, he does not currently hold a title. I take that back. It's right there in our face in yellow highlighted letters that says he's the current AWA Southern Heavyweight Champion. Not that any of that matters. I was just curious. All right, so there is that match at 16 minutes. And then who do we want to have replace Mr. Saito? Getting disappointed in Saito here. He's missing a lot of matches on us. Who do we want to face Bob Backlund in Winnipeg? Well, we know who will give him a really good match, and that would be the Iron Sheik. So we're going to go ahead and have the Iron Sheik versus Bob Backlund. 18-minute match. We're going to make it a technical masterclass. There it is, technical masterclass locked in now. And it doesn't matter to me who wins this one, so we're going to leave that one open-ended too. Maybe we'll get a surprise. And our main event here, folks, is going to be the Midnight Rockers versus the Midnight Express. There is no need for a gimmick match here. This feud is just continuing to cook here. It's starting to boil. It's getting very, very hot. And let's see what we did the last time these two teams faced each other. Okay, the Midnight Express have beat the Midnight Rockers the last two times they've faced. So let's have Marty Jannetty go over by DQ. And that'll keep the feud hot. The fans will be happy to see the babyfaces win. And then they'll be oh so disappointed that the babyfaces didn't win the titles. Or the title, I should say. And then that just keeps this feud hot and gets Winnipeg wanting to see these two teams go at it again. So we're going to book that one out. We gave it a full 30 minutes. This card, we're at 2 hours, 22 minutes. This is a solid card. Solid AWA card for Winnipeg. Of course, we had to make some adjustments here. 2 of them because wrestlers weren't available, which again is disappointing. But obviously the injury to the Texas Hangmen, that's the biggest problem there. So let's go ahead and let's get booking. All right, the ladies opener only gets a 21. It's a little disappointing, but the more exposure in Winnipeg, the better they're going to get. This one was a surprisingly very low score. The Russians get the win over the Top Guns here. And let's take a look at the breakdown. I understand the Top Guns don't have much popularity up there, and I understand the Russians don't either. So my hopes may have been a little too high. So that's the hit. It's experience, psychology, inconsistency, that kind of stuff. That's the knock on us, and it's understandable. Whoa, this one's a little bit worse of a score than I thought we'd get. But DJ Peterson gets the win again, and hopefully both these men gain some popularity here in Winnipeg. And oof, DeBeers and Blackwell only get a 53. Wow. Jerry Blackwell picks up another win over Colonel DeBeers here. And boy, I figured both these men would have higher popularity up there in Winnipeg, but I guess not. Let's move along. Sheik Adnan al-Kaissey gets the win over Ray Stevens. Both of these men score high. This match is only a 61 overall. We really need things to pick up here. Our card is lacking, and I don't know if our main event is going to get us as high of a number as we need to round off this card and get us a solid number. So this is pretty disappointing. Of course, Ray Stevens is penalized for declining physical ability. Adnan al-Kaissey still doing well. So let's take a look here. Oliver versus Lawler nets us a 75. Not bad. Of course, Jerry Lawler gets the win again. And we actually left this one open too. So maybe one of these times Rip Oliver will win, but I doubt it. All right. Backlund and the Sheik only get a 78. I was hoping for a much higher score here. And Iron Sheik beats Backlund with the camel clutch clean. That's all right. That's all right. This isn't going to hurt either one of these men. You know they had an excellent bout here. So yeah, this doesn't bother me at all, this result. That's okay. 78's an okay score. I would have liked to have seen 80, but what are we going to do? So next is our main event here, folks. And let's hope that this nets us a decent score. So we can get a popularity bump in Winnipeg, which we may not even anyway because it is week 3 already. So let's see what all right. Our main scores us an 81. That's very good. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, folks. I forgot to set that as a disqualification. I forgot to set that as a disqualification. Well, that's extremely disappointing. But it's not the first time I've made an error like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have new World Tag Team Champions. The Midnight Rockers have defeated the Midnight Express in Winnipeg and have taken the World Tag Team title for themselves here for the second or third time. I'm not sure. We have new World Tag Team Champions. We have new World Tag Team Champions. Wow. This is a big shock in the AWA, and it's a big shock to me because, well, that's what happens when you forget to put DQ finish down. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, the Rockers are back on top as the World Tag Team Champions. Let's go ahead and finish the show. And you know what? This is okay. This is all right. The heel team had the title for 3 months. You know, that was decent. And now we can transition into a long title reign now for the Midnight Rockers. Or until I screw it up again in a few months. But that's all right. We have new World Tag Team Champions. let's praise Ray Stevens. He had a decent match there. Let's point out Bob Backlund, who had a very good match. Not Zhukov, even though he did okay. Bob Backlund's pointed out as a good example. And lastly, I would like to point out, who do I want to point out here? Let's point out Dennis Condrey. Dennis Condrey did a good job for us and a great performance. Let's go ahead and make the speech here, see if anybody really likes it. Stevens is pleased. Bob Backlund's pleased. And Dennis Condrey is pleased. All right, there's Misty Blue Sims, who was also an adult film actress, but she was a good wrestler. And her team with Heidi Lee Morgan was a good team. And I think Misty Blue Sims also did some work with Linda Dallas also as a tag team and in the film industry. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what took place. Doug Furnas signed with New Japan. Exclusive. Wow. Whew. All right. Psycho is back. That's good for us. And of course, the usual guys that are tired. Let's take a look at our titles here. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm in shock that I made that error with the World Tag Team title. Okay, so this is the second reign for the Midnight Rockers here. I was incorrect. And the Midnight Express only ended up with a two-month title reign there. But that's okay. I mean, this is not that big of a deal. I'm a fan of long title reigns. I made an error here. What else can I do? I'm not going to give the titles back to I'm not going to give the title back to the Midnight Express. That would be cheesy and cheap. So let's just take it for what it is, and let's try to get another 3 months out of this feud, or at least another month. We'll reevaluate, and this isn't a bad thing. In all fairness, Randy Rose was kind of sandbagging the Midnight Express. He wasn't quite putting up the numbers we were hoping for. So it's cool. It's cool to have the Midnight Express back as the World Tag Team Champions. This is not going to hurt us. And this is good for us. This is good for the AWA. The only thing is we have a babyface World Heavyweight Champion. Now we have a babyface World Tag Team Champion team. Not the end of the world. The other two titles are controlled by heels. So not bad. We'll just keep doing our thing. It was an error, but it's not necessarily the end of the world. And we have new World Tag Team Champions. What are we going to do? All right, let's see who wants more money here. And, oh, I forgot to mention to you folks that Wayne Bloom, who was originally trained by Eddie Sharkey, but then did a lot of time with the AWA, he was available. So we went ahead and signed Wayne Bloom. And I don't think we're going to use him as enhancement talent. What I think we're going to do is I don't think we're going to use him right away. And I think we're going to make some changes to our roster. We're going to let some people go. We're going to try to get some other people. We're going to try to keep this as realistic as possible. But I think we are going to make some roster changes here after the next tour. So our next batch of our tour here goes into our final block for our 9 weeks. Okay, so we're going into the final block. That's section 3 here. So after that, we have a whole new tour block. And as you can see, we are making this now a 12-town block, and we are adding new cities. We're expanding out. So you can see the color change too, goes to gray from blue. Maybe we'll change that so it's a little bit more apparent. But that's what we're looking at here for our next block. So after this tour here, this is week 3. So we have one more section to go, a new block, and we're going to have another week of tours, and then we're going to have our TV tapings. So we are 3 weeks away from redesigning our tour schedule and having a new block. So it's exciting stuff. It's always exciting to change things, and a lot of you have been extremely loyal and have stuck with me on this from the beginning, and I appreciate it. And we're going to keep trying to keep this more and more interesting and having more and more fun with it, because it is a blast. This has been a lot of fun doing these shows. And let's get back to our main screen here. So Wayne Bloom went ahead and signed with us. That's good. We have some use for him. And let's take a look around the game world here, see if there's anything that reaches out to us. Looks like the WWF actually had a night off. That was probably an error on my part that's been corrected in version 7.0. Remember, I'm still playing 6.0, but the rest of you should be playing 7.0 already. And let's take a look at New Japan here. So, you know what? Saito, that's why we're not getting him. Saito is the IWGP champion. That's exactly why he's doing so many dates for New Japan right now. They put the big title on him. And he has been the champion for 6 months or 5 months, and I just noticed now. Oh well. So that's exactly why he's been not with us on so many dates. So that clears that up. Rest of the game world looks like Crockett was off too. Kind of a boring game world going here right now. So that'll conclude this episode for us, folks, with the gaming. Now, we're reaching back into the history corner here, and we're going to pull out some history. Today is March 10th. So if we go back in the time machine here, and we go back to March 10th, 1985 for the UWF, who I believe was still Mid-South Wrestling at that point. Don't quote me on that. But they ran 2 shows that night on March 10th, 1985. They ran the Myriad in Oklahoma City, and they had Butch Reed and the Rock and Roll Express beat Kamala, One Man Gang, and Steve Williams. That was some serious beef in that ring, I'll tell you that much. And then the other card that they ran that night was in the Convention Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Brad Armstrong beat Hercules Hernandez, who became known as the Mighty Hercules in the WWF. And there was also a tag title match. The Mid-South tag title was up for grabs as the Rock and Roll Express defeated Edgar Thomas and Steve Williams. So Steve Williams did double duty that night and did some driving. So that's our history corner. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to this episode. As you know, we have fresh episodes every day. So please give us a subscribe and you'll be notified when the new video drops. Also, give us a like and share. Let your friends know about this show. Let your family know. Let your neighbors know. Let their neighbors know. Let everybody know. Scream it outside. Share it on social media. Let everybody know. Help our channel continue to grow. We have been building an empire. We are having a lot of fun, and the sky's the limit. We're going to keep rolling with this. If you want the Supermod version 7.0, please let me know. Go to my website, braddrake.net, and go ahead and hit contact on there. And you can drop me a line, and I'll be more than happy to send you a link to the Google Drive page where you can download not only the picture pack, but you can also download the database and get playing. And last but not least, folks, remember, join us on Facebook. Have some fun with us on Facebook. Facebook.com/groups/1987Supermod. That's Facebook.com/groups/1987Supermod. Thanks for tuning in, folks, and we'll see you next time.